Warning, S&P 500, 3 down days in a row could be trouble. So take a look at this. These are the last 3 days. We first have, this is the most important part. We have a market peak right here. And then right after that we have one down day, 2 down days, 3 down days in a row. And so I have a indicator, the TIA GAN swing indicator, which I recommend. The red arrows represent down days, the green arrows represent up days. We have to get 3 red arrows in a row for this indicator to hit after a market peak. That's exactly what we're getting. Typically, that marks that there is more downward pressure to come. And I'll show you an example of this. We actually had this at the Bitcoin peak. I talk a lot about Bitcoin and crypto on this channel. Take a look at this. On Bitcoin, if we zoom out, we just had the Bitcoin all-time high on around March 13th, around there. And then right after that, we got this indicator. So take a look at this. We got the peak right here, March 14th, and then we got 1 down day, 2 down days, 3. Well, we got these red arrows. So this is based on, I believe, the GAN swing. So we get one red arrow, 2 red arrows, 3 red arrows. And that marked the peak of the Bitcoin all-time high. And after that, we have not gotten above this level, about 73,748. We got close to it in April, but that's below it. We got to 72,700. And then this one, we got to 71,800. 71,800 again. But we have not been able to take out that level for months and months. Now we are heading back up to it again, so we'll see what happens. But we are getting this similar indicator here on the S&P 500. So very important to note. Are we going to be trading sideways for a while? That's possible. I also have to say welcome back to the Crypto Astro channel. Here I bring radical, innovative new approach to market analysis, combining technical analysis with astrology. Please use caution in the comments below. Watch out for spam bots that are promoting false crypto projects that are scams. And then on this channel, none of this content is financial or investment advice. This content is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. So continuing to look at the charts here, let's take a look at the past times that we have seen a market peak followed by 3 down days. So we got one back here in August of last year. And so right after this, how long did this last? Well, this correction was about a 10% correction after that. So we did head down. It wasn't too bad. So it lasted only about 62 days. So wait, no, wait. 87 days, is that correct? Looks like 87 days. So we started it at August 1st, went all the way. The bottom was in at October 27th. So yeah, 87 days. Wow, about 3 months before we got that bottom and before we started heading back up. We didn't get back up to this similar level until around December. So that took 133 days to get back to that same level. All right, so there it is in action right there. Then the time before that, let's go back to the all-time high peak. So it's right around here. So I'm going to delete these couple ones because these are after the peak. But this was at the market all-time high, January 5th, 2022. And obviously we all know how long this correction was. Very long correction. We didn't hit the bottom until 281 days. we didn't get back up to this level for a really long time. We didn't get to this same level until about, wow, 748 days later. Mind-blowing. All right, so this is pretty significant. Now, but there are possibilities like this where, you know, September 3rd, 2021, we got it here, and it only headed down just a little bit, you know, but we did get that correction, so can be a great buying opportunity. Not financial advice. 1 month there, and then this one, we could, this one was much shorter. This one was very short. So it's not every single time. We have to see how much of a rebound. Let's look at these shorter ones. How long did it take to rebound? So 1, 2, 3. Rebounded right away. It got one. Rebounded pretty quickly. This one got 1, 2, 3 red triangles, and then 3 green triangles right after. So if we get 3 green triangles right after, then it will cancel this potential downside. Here we got at the all-time high, we got the 1, 2, 3 red triangles, and we got another red triangle. We got 2 greens up and before we got a big red candle. Okay, so what we're seeing right now so far, 1, 2, 3 red triangles. We're getting a green right now, but we got to see where this day closes. If we get 3 more green candles, that would cancel it out. But if we continue to get red candles after this, we could be heading down. So very interesting. What do you guys think? Very interesting analysis here with this indicator. And it's amazing how accurate it was for the Bitcoin all-time high and crypto. Okay, so if we zoom out a bit. So how far could we go? I mean, if we look at this one, I mean, we got a, back here in March 2022, we got a 15% correction. Back here in November 2022, we got a 19%. So if we saw something like that, this one, if we headed down from here, yeah, I mean, we could definitely get a nice healthy 13%. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but certainly possible, especially since we take a Fibonacci line from the market peak right now all the way down to this market swing bottom October 2nd of last year. Then the 50% level is right here at 48.85. Now, if we take it from the higher swing, which looks like it's about right here, we would head down to about the same level. Let me zoom in. Let's zoom in like this. Go to the weekly. In this case, we could head to, looks like exactly the same level of this 21 SMA line here, this yellow line. The 50% level lines up right there. And that's around 53.08. So, and that would be, how much would that be? 6% correction. So that is totally, completely possible. Be a nice, healthy correction. We got a correction like that right back here in April this year. Nice, healthy correction. 3 weeks down. And before it bounced up. And it bounced right off of this 21 SMA line here. And we have had times in history where it's gone below the SMA, obviously. But it got bought up pretty quickly. That was a 10%. That was only a 10% correction. So we could get a 10% easily. Then, of course, back here, we kept going below this 21 SMA. Everyone was calling for a recession. Yeah, we were staying below it for a while, getting some quicksand on that line, the SMA, before we headed back up. So we will see. We'll have to keep our eyes on this. And this is obviously definitely going to affect crypto if we head down lower. So let me know what questions you guys have in the comments about that. And I also want to show you guys some more very interesting information here. Okay, so we'll click this one. All right, I might have to zoom out a little bit. Nope, that's pretty clear. There we go. All right, so these are S&P 500, how it does in an election year if the president is up for re-election or not. Now, the really interesting thing is that originally we were on this gold line here, the 4th year of a new president, Mr. Biden. But then we have, he actually just stepped out. So he is no longer running, it sounds like. And so that could lead to the blue line, referred to as the lame duck year. So it's possible. And so this blue line starts to correct down at the end of July into August. Little bit of a correction, a rebound in August. But it looks like it does not get back up to the all-time high before it corrects again down September, October, maybe even sideways action in November. So that could be kind of the worst case scenario. It's certainly possible. The good news is that if Mr. T, I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name on YouTube. I don't know how weird YouTube is these days. I'll just say it. Trump, if he wins, then the markets did well the last time that happened. So that's something to keep in mind. Maybe it isn't all doom and gloom. Let's take a look at this other chart. Here's this one, S&P 500 election year seasonal patterns. For the last, 70 years or so, if we take a look, so 2024, we're on this pink line. It's continued to head it up, but we're getting a little bit of correction now at the end of July. What's interesting in that the pink line where we're at follows the gold line pretty closely. The gold line is when the years were down in April, up in May. And what we have been doing is down in April and up in May. So perhaps we could follow more of the gold line, which continues to hold pretty strong in August, but then falls off into September and October, and then rebounds heading into November elections. So I could definitely see that potentially happening. So that's very, very interesting. And so we could see a pattern like that with S&P 500 and could potentially also see it with crypto. So very interesting there. I also want to take a look at, let me turn that off, the Fed rates. Now the Fed is projected, if we look at this data here, we got to load it again. The Fed, last time I looked, is projected to start cutting rates. I'll show you. We go to the probabilities. Oh, it's gone down a little bit. So 90% chance that they're cutting rates September 18th. It's gone down. I think it was at about 98% a week ago, maybe. Or maybe it was 95. Then it went down to, now it's down to 90%. So we'll see what happens. I guess earlier in this year it was projected, at one point it was like 90%, 95% chance they were going to start cutting this summer. But then that never happened, right? Right now, a 97% chance they're going to continue to pause July 31st. So we'll see if this 90% number continues to fall off, go down to 85%, 80%, 70%. But it'll be very interesting because when they do start cutting, this is what we can look at what historically happens when they start cutting. We'll zoom out a bit here. So you look at the orange line is really the Fed funds rate. We're up here, we're paused. If we zoom out a bit, we clean this up a little bit here. We go back here. The last time they were they started cutting right here, July 2019. What happened in S&P 500? We got a little dump here. Let's zoom in. So right here, we got a red candle, red monthly candle. So we got a red month correction before we start heading back up again. And then, so that was really when they start cutting a little bit, it's like a dump and then and then it rebounds. But then when they really start cutting strongly, and that's typically happens when there's potentially a black swan event or something breaks in the market, something's wrong, then they cut rates drastically during COVID. We got a big correction and a rebound there. Let's go back further. I mean, the markets did well when they were raising. If we go back, let's zoom out. Oh, 2007. So 2007, the markets got a correction. Then they started cutting and markets got excited. Markets went up when they started cutting for 1, 2 months. 3 months, markets were okay. And then the 4th month, markets started tanking. And then they really started accelerating the cutting and markets continued to tank. There was a little rebound, but markets continued to tank until when they got really aggressive, markets went all the way down, as we can see, as we all know, back in 2008. So that's something to be aware of. A lot of people are very bullish when they start cutting, but take a look. Take a look what happened back in, well, this is, I guess, the dot-com bubble. Well, let's, they're kind of all over the place here. They didn't really pause. It looked like it was, they cut a little bit. So it looks like when they cut a little bit, then it's not a big deal. Market keeps heading up. They paused for a bit. They went up for a little bit, went down. Market keeps going up. They raised rates a little bit. Interesting. Then they paused for a while. It was still bullish when they paused. Then markets fell off. They started cutting a little bit and markets rebounded. Then they started raising rates. Kind of strange. Pause. And then they really started cutting. When they start cutting a lot, pretty aggressively, month after month, then markets really start to tank. So we'll have to see if they just cut a little bit, which could be pretty bullish short term, or if they're really cutting aggressively, when usually means something's wrong and markets are tanking and may continue to tank. So we'll have to really keep our eyes on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What else? I also wanted to show you guys getting some high value here. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be coming out with a lot more amazing videos like this, looking at technical analysis and astrology. So if you're an astrology skeptic, well, I've been about 90% accurate for the last 1.5 years. So there's that. Totally your choice if you're a crypto skeptic or if you support crypto, but most people on this channel are open-minded, okay? And they're open to learning, taking in new information. Hey, if it resonates, take it. If it doesn't resonate, throw it out. It's totally fine. You can do whatever you want. All right, let's look at the NASDAQ astrology. So taking the opening of the NASDAQ February 8th, my birthday, 1971, New York Stock Exchange, New York. We're gonna look at the next few months here. So the NASDAQ getting a negative hit, pretty negative hit August 20th. But we also got a positive back in July 13th. So that, markets were kind of peaking out. NASDAQ, S&P 500 doing well. Now there's a bit of correction, so could we be heading into more of a correction in August? Certainly possible. And then at the same time, we're also getting this fairly negative hit August 21st. So our market's really going to start correcting, especially the NASDAQ around August 20th, second half of August. That lines up really well with my previous video where I looked at the Bitcoin astrology. Second half of August was not looking so good. Very, very interesting here, guys. So if you haven't already, take a look at my Bitcoin astrology video for August. This is my previous video. Go to my channel, go to my videos, you'll see it there. We do get this last positive hit on July 26th. So perhaps we'll see a little rebound before things start to slow down a bit. We do start to see more positive action early September. But maybe that is, and then we get the eclipses September, October, which typically brings a major market shift. All right, so could we be seeing a bit of a correction, kind of like I was talking about here and in that other chart where there's starting to correct? And could it even start in August, such as this gold line here where it starts to teeter off and fall off, and yeah, in September, October, when we get those eclipses, lines up quite well with the astrology. We typically get a major market shift around those times. All right, so let me know what you guys think. Let's see. Let's look at the comments from Portugal. Hello from Portugal. Greetings. Day 25, day 29, March, Jupiter in Gemini. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. I think that's a different language. Thanks for the Ethereum video. Wish I could make it to Bali. Unfortunately, the time is not right for now. Yeah, so I do have a Bali retreat coming up in September 7th through 14th. It's going to be absolutely amazing. If you're interested, if you're curious, take a look at the links on my YouTube channel page. Click the link there and you can sign up if you feel called to do this amazing retreat in Bali. If you've never been there, it's absolutely incredible. I live there most of the year. And so I can show you guys around and give you guys some of the most amazing, radical, innovative approach to crypto, astrology, and market analysis, guys. Okay, really exciting times we're in. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. If you want to see more videos like this, definitely hit that subscribe button. Support this channel by clicking that like button, boosting the algorithm so we can get these videos out to more people. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.